Scroll through your phone right now and count the names. Hundreds of contacts, maybe thousands of followers. A list that says you know more people than any human who has ever lived. It feels like proof that you are deeply, richly connected, surrounded by a vast web of friends spread across cities and screens. But the real answer is far stranger. Almost none of those people are actually your friends, and your brain already knows it. Think about who you'd call at 3 a.m. Not text, call. The person you'd wake up without hesitation because something has gone wrong and you need them. How many names is that, really? For most people, the honest answer is unsettling. It's not hundreds. It's not even dozens. It's a handful. 4, maybe 5 faces. And no matter how many contacts you collect, that tiny inner number almost never grows. This isn't a failure of your social life. It's a limit written into the architecture of your skull. In the early 1990s, a British anthropologist named Robin Dunbar noticed something odd while studying primates. He was looking at monkeys and apes, measuring how much time they spent grooming each other, picking through fur, sitting close, the quiet maintenance of relationships. And he found a pattern that no one expected. The bigger a primate's social group, the bigger one specific part of its brain, the neocortex, the wrinkled outer layer responsible for thought, planning, and understanding others. Species that lived in large groups had larger neocortices. Species that lived alone or in pairs had smaller ones. The relationship was so clean it looked like a law. So Dunbar did something bold. He took the equation, plugged in the size of the human neocortex, and asked a simple question. If this pattern holds for us too, how many relationships is the human brain actually built to handle? The number that came out was about 150. Sit with that. Out of the 8 billion people alive, out of the thousands in your phone, your brain is wired to truly track around 150 relationships at once. Not acquaintances, not faces you recognize, actual relationships, where you know who someone is, how they connect to others, and where you stand with them. This became known as Dunbar's number, and once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. Look at how humans have organized themselves for most of history. Hunter-gatherer bands and early farming villages tended to hover around that same size before they split apart. The Roman army's basic fighting unit, the century, was built from roughly 80 to 150 men. Even today, researchers studying company structures find that organizations often start to strain and fracture into subgroups right around 150 people. It's as if some invisible ceiling keeps appearing across thousands of years and completely different cultures. But here's where it gets stranger. 150 isn't a single number, it's a series of rings. Dunbar found that our relationships nest inside each other like layers of an onion, and each layer has its own startlingly consistent size. At the very center sit the people you'd call at 3 a.m. That innermost circle is about 5, your closest support group, the ones whose loss would genuinely break something in you. Around that sits a layer of about 15, good friends, people you'd grieve hard for, people you trust with the real version of yourself. Around that, a layer of about 50, friends you'd invite to a big party, people you're glad to see but don't lean on. And then the outer ring of 150, the full set of people you have a real, two-way relationship with. Past that boundary are the 500 acquaintances and the 1,500 faces you can simply put a name to. Recognizable, but not truly known. Each ring is roughly 3 times bigger than the one inside it. 5, 15, 50, 150. A quiet mathematical rhythm hiding inside your social life. So why these limits? Why can't you just love everyone? Because relationships cost something real. They cost time, and they cost the mental energy of holding another person's inner world in your mind. To maintain a close friendship, you have to remember their history, track their moods, anticipate their reactions, and invest hours that you can never get back. Dunbar's research suggests that friendships have a kind of half-life. Stop investing time, and even a close bond will quietly decay, sliding from an inner ring toward the outer dark. Your inner circle is small not because you're cold, but because intimacy is expensive, and you have a finite budget. Now hold this ancient machinery up against the world you actually live in. Your phone shows you 1,000 followers, and some part of your old primate brain treats each one as a member of your tribe. It wasn't built to understand that most of these people will never know you, never grieve you, never show up at 3 a.m. You can watch someone's life unfold for years, learn their dog's name and their morning routine, and feel like you know them, but the relationship runs only one direction. The grooming never comes back. The psychologists who study this describe it with a useful phrase: parasocial relationships. One-sided bonds where you invest real emotion into someone who has no idea you exist. Your brain logs them as friends. Your inner rings stay just as empty as before. This might be part of why a person can have 10,000 followers and still feel profoundly alone. The counter says you are surrounded. The ancient wiring says the circle that matters is nearly empty. But there's something freeing hidden in all of this if you're willing to see it. If your brain can only hold about 150 real relationships and only about 5 in the deepest place, then your attention is not a flaw to be fixed. It's a resource to be spent wisely. You were never meant to be close to everyone. You were meant to be close to a few, fiercely and fully. Robin Dunbar himself has pointed out that the people in your inner circles aren't fixed by fate. They're chosen by where you spend your hours. Every coffee, every long phone call, every showing up is a vote for who belongs in your 5. The friend you stop calling slowly drifts outward. The one you keep reaching for is pulled in close. So look again at that endless list of names on your screen. It was never proof of how connected you are. The real measure was always smaller, quieter, and far harder to fake. Not the thousands who can see you, the handful who would come for you in the dark. Scroll through your phone right now and count the names. Then close it and call one of the 5.